Hi guys, welcome back to How To Tuesday. This week we are going to play with markers and cardstock. My substrate is 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to use Copic and Prismacolor. I think I might do one or the other or both. I'm not entirely sure. I have quite a different selection of colors in here compared to my Prismacolor markers, and yeah, so I thought I would play. We're gonna do, I figured since it was the month of October, we would play with some fractured faces. And what I mean by that, you'll see. I'm gonna start drawing it out. What I'm gonna do is create a portrait, but we're gonna fracture and or distort. Let's go with distorted faces, not fractured faces. Distorted faces. I'm gonna draw out the face shape. It's just gonna be focused on the head. Draw out the shape of the head, and then I'm gonna place either a box or circles, however you want to do it, over a couple features, 2 to 3 features, and in those spaces that I create, I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna grow. Like, so if I want, say, I make this eye bigger, then this eye smaller, then I'm gonna make the mouth bigger. I think that's kind of where I'm gonna go with it. So it'll make more sense when I start drawing. This isn't rocket science. This is meant to be fun. It is meant to be silly. It is meant to be exploratory. We're gonna have some fun playing and creating. Obviously we're creating distorted faces, so we're not going to be using realistic skin tones. You can like do one of the eyes, one of the sections, or whatever it is. You can choose to use skin tone, normal skin tones, but I really want to play with it. I want to ride that tail of the October month and have fun with this. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to sketch out like an oval. I'm using right now, like I said, this is 110-pound cardstock. It's Spring Hill Digital. It's my favorite cardstock that I use for my Copic markers, my regular markers, my graphite, my colored pencils. Okay, so I've got my shape. This is my Graph Gear 1000 Pentel 0.3. It's what I always use. I'm going to just do a quick divide. I'm not going to do a lot of feature drawing right now. I just want to kind of segregate a little bit. And then I'm going to shape out my face. I want to create my face shape first. We will be doing a lot of erasing, so if you have a mechanical pencil, I suggest you use that because I use mine. I'm committed to it. I love it because it erases really well. Mechanical pencil, for some reason, it just doesn't create a huge dark line. We will be erasing, I promise, because of the way we're going to distort our faces. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect right now because, do I like the jawline there or do I like it? I think I like it a little lower. Because we're distorting it, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of this project. I'm going to give myself a little chin. I'm making a mark right here because that's where kind of like the hinge of my jaw is in this picture, in this face. So I want them to match up on both sides. Okay, that's better. And then this is a little high now. I'm going to bring, I'm not sure if I'm going to add any hair. Not really focused on that right now. I'm just focused on playing with the features. Okay, so I'm going to raise the eye line and the nose line and then the mouth line. I'm going to take that out. Okay. Before I forget, if you like what you see and you're enjoying the How To Tuesdays, please like and subscribe and click that bell. Make sure you click that bell so that you know when the next video is gone live. Okay, so there is my first distortion. I think I'm going to distort here too. And actually, I think I'm gonna do this. So I have 3 distortions, except I think I'm gonna make this one bigger. I love those mechanical pencils. As erases. Also, join us on Next Generation Art. It is, if you have not already, an awesome community filled with awesome artists and people, super supportive, super generous with their time and their advice and their help, very creative. It's from novice to expert, quote unquote, artists, and it's just a safe space, no judgment, only love and support. I have at least three weekly prompts every week for you guys to work from. So you don't have to think, you just look at the prompt and you create from that. You do not have to copy it exactly, but you're more than welcome to. And you can also, I love it when someone sees it and takes it beyond and goes, okay, just jumping off point, thank you so much, now I'm going for it. That's what I love to see. Okay, we're going to draw the nose in first. Do a little circle. A little half circle. Let me come in a little. Little half circle. Adopted this new way of drawing the nose. I've only done it a couple times. And so far, I have liked the results. Because you can make it bigger and smaller. Let me show you really quick. So I do this. And then I do this. The beginning of the nostrils. And you can change it too. You could make it go lower. You can make it go higher. It just depends on the type of nose you want. And then do like a half circle or half almond, I guess. Connect here. This is very sketchy, but you can change nostril shape up if you want. Like the outside nostril, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. And then if we erase some of the extra bits, make it a little smaller. That's what I can see. That's a little too big. And there's the beginnings of a nostril. Okay, so that's the idea. All right. So my nose is in. Okay. While I draw, I'm going to tell you about a new venture that I've started, you guys. The name of my Facebook group is Next Generation Art. Jen, Jen, like the first three letters of my name. And I have started for every first and third Friday of the month called Next Generation Friday Creations. And what I'm doing is, real quick, my eyes, you can make them realistic or super fun, whimsical. I'm going with whimsical today. I felt like I've done a lot of realistic drawing, so I'm going to go with some whimsical today. Lately, I've been doing a lot of realistic stuff, so I'm going to play. Anyways, it's called Next Generation Friday Creations, and every first and third Friday of the month, I will have out a full real-time video for $5. You pay $5, and then you have a weekend, few hours in the weekend of fun. You can do it for you can do it for you and your family, you could do it with you and your grandkids, you could do it with you and your girlfriends, totally up to you. But you pay $5 and you get a cool lesson and a few hours of fun. Every week I'll have different mediums that I'll play with. I've already got 2 out. I will include the links for those. You'll watch it on Vimeo. I will include the links for those in the description box of this video. And if you join Next Generation Art, the link will also be in the description box, you will get a weekly reminder. You will get a post, or not a bi-weekly reminder. You'll get, and you'll also get it, and if you join up my email list, you'll get that as well, a reminder. So I think it's a really fun way, especially nowadays when some of us have a lot of free time on our hands, spend too much time on our heads, but are creative and kind of get stuck every once in a while. You know, there's just a lot going on in the world, and it's really hard to just sit down and create. So if you have something guiding you, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, because I know a lot of us are pinched right now financially, because a lot of people are furloughed. I am one of those who is furloughed for work. So I thought this would be really kind of cool to give back, and because I'm so grateful for all of the support that I have gotten through the years. And I thought this would be a fun way to say thank you and also provide some fun for you guys for the weekend. So anyways, it's called Next Generation Friday Creations. It's bi-weekly. It's the first and third Friday of the month. And it is full-length, real-time video, and fun. They'll be fun. Different mediums every week. Nothing will overlap. If it's a 2-weeker, which I'm really trying not to make, if it's a 2-weeker, you will be notified. I will let you know in the first video, but typically every week is a new video. New lesson, new video, so you never have to worry about keeping in order. It's just lesson 1, or class 1, class 2, class 3. That's it. That's how it works. So yeah, my battery just died, which is interesting because it was a brand new battery. That's a problem. I'm back. So yeah, join us, please. It's a lot of fun. It's been fun. It's been a cool experience sharing this with everybody. So there you go. Now back to the project. So I actually think I'm going to make her lips bigger because I tend to make larger lips anyways because I like the big juicy lips. So we're going to draw like really big. And I'm trying to keep the boxes. I do want to keep the boxes in there. I want it to be, oh, it's a little crooked. I want it to be obvious that it's a box and not just a distorted mouth or eye. Again, these are jumping off points. If you don't want to see the box, you do not have to see the box. You could do a circle instead. Oh, it's not long enough. So, I think Halloween. You can make it spooky. Okay, I keep making the box crooked. I think I did it again, but, so. Okay. This is also a really fun time to switch up, like, you know, if you are someone, like I kind of default to a certain lip style and a certain eye style, and it'd be kind of fun to switch things up. If there's a certain style that you've always wanted to try, go for it. Give it a shot. Like these two eyes don't need to match, and this one's bigger, this one's smaller. This one can be completely different. Love it, love it, love it. To get like the perfect, close to perfect circle, you know the trick of just, you don't have to draw it in, but you can do a light drawing in. And try not to go crazy with the details because you'll add the details later when you go into with the coloring. Honestly, I really debated with this. I was like, do I do graphite? Do I do colored or marker? Colored pencil? Colored pencil and graphite would take forever and ever to do. So I didn't think you guys would want to sit and watch me do. Because when I work graphite, I go to town with shade and shadow. I love to shade a lot. It's one of my favorite parts of drawing. Okay, so I think I'm going to add a fun giant ear on this side. Because why not? What am I saying? Why not? You could start, typically start with the, you start the tip of the ear with the eye and then you end with the nose. This girl. And it's going to be a funky ear too. Is not following that rule. This is the time to play and explore. Remember, we're doing distorted. So it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be, or it shouldn't make any sense, truthfully. It shouldn't make sense. It should be recognizable, but not to the point of leave those boxes in. If you're someone who doesn't like to freehand, you could certainly get a ruler and draw that in. I'm going to put the rest of the ear, which would be showing here, just right there, because her head is covering it, the rest. And make your boxes. And then let me put the face back in here. I think I'm gonna adjust the box. The lips are okay. It's the box that I've drawn kind of cattywampus. Anybody else use that word? Or wackadoodle? I'm determined to draw it crooked. It's staying. I'm done. And let's draw. I'm going to draw her tiny little neck. You know how I love my long necks anyways. I'm going to draw a tiny little neck. And tiny little shoulders. That's awesome. Let's give her a crown, but we're going to give her an itty bitty crown. Just a simple, fun little crown. Now, I'm sitting here drawing and I'm thinking, do I want to outline everything with marker first? And I think the answer is yes. I think I do, for the black marker. And then color it in, make it more illustrative. Get rid of my pencil lines, because you know once the marker hits the pencil, it won't erase. So, but I do think I'm going to come in with my blending stump a little and do just a tiny bit of shading to kind of add some. Oh, her head. Well, that's okay. I was going to say, looks disconnected, but you know what? I've made it bigger there, so that is okay. What was I saying? Gone. I don't remember. Oh, shading, that's right. Anybody else? My goodness. I lose the words constantly. Okay, so I'm going to go in my blending stump and do a little shading to bring it, just add a little depth before I add my marker. Just a little. I can find them. I want to grab a piece of paper and just make sure. Put this under all this. Okay, it's not too bad. Just a little. Just add a little shading. Ouch. It's not gonna, see, it already starts to add a little bit of, I like this eye a lot. A lot. I'm gonna have to remember that. A little more dark here. A little dark here. Just where the two lips meet. A little shadow there. A little shade in here. Not a ton. Just a hint. I'm going to fix the ear because I erased it. And then we'll do a complete erasing again once I go over everything with the marker. Okay, so you know what's interesting is that I left her face in this, but I took it out of this. I think I'm gonna, oh man, I had pastel. I tell you, working with pastels, I get it, it's everywhere. It doesn't look like it's there, but then it is, and then I end up touching something. So I made this a little distorted, like it was, because it blew up a little like a magnifying glass, so it was, I just did it a little off kilter, and I really like how that looks. So I think I'm gonna do the same thing over here to make it look like it's been pushed and forced. Just another layer to making it look bigger. And like it's really being distorted and forced to look out of the way, or out of the box. You know what I'm going to do too? Just remind me. I think I'm going to add just a smidge of shadow under these bad boys. Just to imply, look, it immediately, boom, I'm taking it into that 3D effect. Still going to go over it with marker, which will help as well. Put a little shadow here. Question is, remember, you guys can give their hair if you want to. I'm going to stick with just her head. Oh, you know what I should have done is made her neck off kilter just like I did the other thing. Okay, so that is that. Where am I at? Okay, now I'm going to outline. I'm going to use the thin marker.
One,
Oh, I didn't do it here either. Don't want to mess with her chin though. Put the tip back on here. I really like her chin. Let's do this. Take it up a little. So it's not quite as even. Anybody else, does it take anybody else a million years to draw a chin? A chin that you like? It takes me forever. That's a little off. Make it a little off. Okay, I'll erase that when I'm done. Ooh, I think this is going to turn out cool. I like. Remember, take this opportunity to switch things up, guys. Play with your features. Draw things you've never drawn. Or drawn it in a way you've never drawn it. If you're someone who usually gets really detailed in the lips, make them super simple. Just do 2 lines. Because really all you need is this line real quick and then the bottom line and you're good to go. I love playing with that and love seeing how just suggestions of lines and markings can imply something else. I love that very, very much. I think there's a little bit of power in that, honestly. Because the human mind is going to fill in the blanks. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to go with it. I missed my line there. Dang it! That's okay. Give her a pretty fierce cat's eye. color in her pupil and just that little white fleck. Because she's going to become more illustrative just because by the way we're doing it, by we're adding the markers, doing the outlining. It's kind of going to end up looking more like a coloring book page. If you hear noises in the background, we just got a kitty. His name is Reginald, and he's playing with our dog right now. I think you heard my dog barking earlier. Trick with markers is when you work with them, they work best when you're pulling them towards you instead of pushing the line away from you. They don't stutter if you're pulling them towards you. Okay. I think she rocks. I'm gonna put, since I had that boo-boo there, I made that extra line, I'm gonna add some here. Just so it looks like I did it on purpose. You know what I mean? I guess I'm gonna have to do it here. Okay. I don't have a ton of lines to erase. I'm not going to erase the shading that I added. Just the lines that I don't want in my piece. Any extra sketch lines. Because once the marker hits it, it stays. Which honestly, I don't really care. I love to see all the layers of a working piece. It doesn't really bother me, truthfully. Let me erase that and put the shadow back in. But once you start, you kind of want to follow all the way through and clean it up as best you can. And now you can probably hear the diesel truck outside. So great. Filming videos in silence. It's awesome. Someday. Someday. Okay. Throw back some of these shadows. Now that we've done that together, and you guys can add jewelry, put necklaces, you can add, you know, background. I'm just focusing on her because I think I just really enjoy a face, if you haven't gathered. I really enjoy drawing faces. Let me fill this in really quick. Okay, so now I'm going to fast forward and put on some lovely music, a musical selection, and we'll go from there. All right. guys to notice that I, throughout the piece, to connect the piece and make it like kind of uniform and flow together, you want to include some of the similar colors. You want to do pops of color, like I have pink, pink, yellow, yellow, yellow. I'm going to probably end up doing green over here just to connect it. You want to include in your color palette little spots of it all throughout so that the viewer's eye follows the entire piece. Unless, of course, you want this to be the focal point, then I would just do this in color and then the rest in graphite, because how flippin' cool would that be? Or I've kind of been playing with the idea of just leaving these color and then not coloring this in, but only the sections. And I'm not sure, because I'm really digging the way the marker looks. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but you'll see. But I want to pop in real quick and tell you guys that just be sure to have like a snippet. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just a little bit, just to pull your eye to the next, and connect. Your brain will fill in the rest. Okay? All right. Also, guys, if you're using your Prismacolors, pretty much any marker that is not an alcohol-based marker, try to keep your strokes going in the same direction, because the strokes don't blend as beautifully as an alcohol marker does. They're just not meant to do that. They've been pretty decent. Like, these pretty good, but you can still see the strokes a tiny bit. So if I was to do this and this and this and this, you would see all the strokes. If you don't care, by all means, go for it. Sometimes I don't care, but today I'm making a conscious effort to go, at least attempt to go in the same direction for a little bit. Especially in bigger areas. As you can see, I've decided to add color. I didn't leave it white. And I love that I added the pencil shadows before the blending with the blending stump, the dirty blending stump, because it gives just enough, when the marker goes over it, it darkens it just a tiny bit, and it's just enough to create that shadow. Some spots I might go over again with gray, just to pop it a little bit more, because I can. So I just wanted to pop in real quick. Okay. you guys. It's finished. And I love it. That was so much fun. It was so much fun. I loved adding all the white little highlights, little specks, and I love coming up with the different skin textures. Super cool. That was super cool. And I can see this turning into something way cooler and being done over, but just creating a whole series basically is what I'm trying to get at. The one little thing I'm going to pop in and say really quick is when you're using Copics, if you're not familiar with them, they do tend to, when you take the cap off, because they're, you know, they're very liquidy, not liquidy like an ink, but they hold a lot of pigment. The color will sometimes splatter. I am not a fan of that, and sometimes if I can get it, I'll come and get my gel pen and I'll remove the dots if I can. They're fairly faint, but if you see them, it helps a little. It just helps a little. It takes them away so it's not as obvious. So I finished. That was awesome. I cannot wait to see what you guys do. Please join Next Generation Art so that I can see, so you can share your work, because this was fun and I think this turned out very cool for October. I'm digging this October thing. I'm gonna have some fun with this and play. This month is gonna be fun and funky. All right, you guys. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, please check out my Next Generation Friday Creations. There's full-length lessons for $5 each, you guys. $5 each, just as a thank you to you. All right, take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.